Hi, my name is Captain Chris, and you're watching Locked on Target. Now, today we're going to be talking about what's a Gamer Life topic. Gamer Life is a weekly question asked by Alloy7 to the gaming community as a whole. And if you don't know what that is, please click the overlaid picture. I'll provide a link to his original video above. We do this as a weekly as a community and answer specific questions, and we would love for you to join in to the conversation. Post your own video review or comment in either his on his video or my own here. I would love that too. This week's question is, how long should a video game be? And this has been sparked over the Order 1886 controversy. The Order 1886 controversy is, in case you haven't heard, is basically the Order is extremely short for a AAA $60 game. Now, let's get into some semantics here. All right, I don't think it's all that short to pay for 7 hours of solid content for $60. All right, I'm not going to get up in arms if someone says, "Hey, you can have 7 hours of interactive content, and it will be the best 7 hours of your gaming life." All right, I'd pay $60 for that. Like, if it was the most fun I've ever had in my life, you better bet I would pay $60 for 7 hours of it. A good example of this is what if someone made a 7-hour movie and it's told a story about a hobbit going on an adventure, and he meets characters along the way, finds out that he has a magical ring that needs to be destroyed, and goes to Mount Doom and throws the ring into Mount Doom where it can be destroyed. Now, the run times for The Lord of the Rings, which is obviously what I'm referencing, is well over 6 to 7 hours, probably even to the 9 to 10, I think, for the director's cuts. Now, I have spent probably $80 on the director's cuts editions of Lord of the Rings. Do I regret that purchase? Heck no. And it's not even an interactive experience, all right? It is one of my favorite series of movies. I'm completely satisfied with that purchase. Now, but for some reason, when I think about, I'm going to buy a $60 video game, and it's only going to last 6 to 7 hours, why am I spending that much on a 6 to 7 hour long video game? Especially one that's not polished, like, well, I shouldn't say not polished, but there's the experience of the Order 1886 is cutscenes and quick time events, more like an interactive movie, which is all well and good, but it's not for me. And honestly, most of the combat seems pretty well done from the Let's Plays I've watched when you actually get to shoot things, but it's just a whole lot of missed expectations. And when your main kind of gameplay mechanic, from what I've seen in the Let's Plays I've watched, is you walking, and I hate forced walking, around a corridor looking for a thing you can flip over in your hand and investigate. That doesn't qualify as like wonderful content to me, all right? That qualifies as meh content. I would not pay $60 for meh content, all right? That's just not how I am. Now, that being said, will I pick up the Order 1886? Yeah, for probably about $20. That's what I would think that experience is worth. If you're not going to tell a compelling story and you're just art showcasing for $60, I mean, I grew up with PCs. I'm a PC gamer, but I play on console as well. I'm not a PC elitist. I've seen it done better. I've seen it done uh, a lot better. All right. The Order 1886 is about the level of graphics we PC gamers have been used to for about 4 to 6 years. All right. Not saying that's a bad thing. Not saying that, you know, that consoles have their uses. You know, I love my PS3. My PS3 actually gets more playtime this generation of games than I would say my computer, which is very strange, but it's just been my experience with the PS3. Likewise with the Wii U. I'm loving playing on the Wii U. I have lots of games for it. I paid $60 for Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, and I think that that is completely and totally worth it. I got Wind Waker for $50, and I loved the improvements of the game, but do I think it was worth $50 when I still have the other GameCube version? That's debatable. I mean, I got it mainly to show my daughter when she grows up, because I just know my GameCube's gonna fail by then, you know, just because hardware doesn't last forever, guys. I wish it did, but you know, it doesn't. Yeah, the point I'm trying to make is those experiences don't outlive their welcome. Another thing I want to bring into this is a game called Guild Wars 2. Or, no, I don't want to talk about Guild Wars 2 now, because I am satisfied with Guild Wars 2, but I think a better example for my own life is Guild Wars 1. Guild Wars 1, I spent 1,900 hours in, alright? I had a few world firsts. I had quite a bit of experience in that game. Not saying that I spent the most time in the world compared to other players, but 1,900 hours of my life went into that game. I don't regret 1 minute of that. Think about that. 1,900 hours I spent on one game. And I still don't regret it. I'll tell you why. Although the experience of Guild Wars plateaus at level 20, which you can hit at level at about 4.5 hours play if you do speed runs and get up into Eye of the North and do some dwarven boxing. But I don't regret any minute there because I love the world. I was interacting with players. I was exploring. I was vanquishing zones. I was playing roller beetle racing during holidays. I was playing, oh gosh, it was like Dragon Ball or something like that during the Lunar Festival, and you had to throw fireballs at people, and it was pretty sweet. You know, it was one of those things that no matter what I did in the game still kept me engaged for whatever reason, and it never got old. If my build got old, I just subbed out 2 skills on my 8 skill bar, and it became literally like a new experience. All right, and with like I think it's like 700 odd skills, 10 professions. I think Guild Wars 1 has. This is bad. I haven't logged in like 2-3 years, so I'm just kind of pulling these stats off of my head. That game stayed fresh for a long time. I would have gladly spent $300-400 on that game. All right, it was my experience. Now I paid, I think, $60 to get Eye of the North factions, Nightfall, Prophecies, all those, the whole pack when I first started. All right. Then I bought another account for like $20 just for storage, because you know storage is kind of limited, and if you buy bank slots in that game, it's like $10 a slot, or you can buy another account and have like 12 bank slots worth of materials for much cheaper. But anyways, I digress. That game kept me engaged. That game never outstayed its welcome. But there are some experiences like Titanfall that I played and just didn't find the magic. I was very disappointed in the game. I was I mean, I loved mechs, and I loved fighting in a mech. I loved being on foot and all the parkour and mobility that finally got back into the FPS genre. And since I've been waiting for since Unreal Tournament 2000. No, 1998 was when the last time I had real mobility in a shooter like that. Well, I guess I could say Tribes, but it's just a whole different experience. Like Tribes versus arena combat, like Titanfall, is just two different things. All right, it just was a long time. But the magic wasn't in Titanfall, and God bless EA for one thing, and one thing only. That wonderful, wonderful, wonderful 48-hour period where you can return your game. Because I returned that stuff. Because I played for 4 hours and I was like, I'm done. Sorry guys, peace. That was just too long for that game. I'm thinking about buying it again now that it's on sale on Origin for like $10, but I don't know. I'm still not enthralled by that game. So why would I get it? Well, I'm thinking to myself, well, I'll get it so I can throw up some cool footage of a newer FPS game. Meh. I mean, that's not even a good enough reason, especially with like Splatoon and maybe the new Battlefield Hardline coming out. I just don't want to get a game just to show footage, just because that's just not conducive to my development right now, and it's kind of a lame reason to play a game. And I want to play games to have fun, not shoot footage, you know. But anyways, basically, what I'm trying to say in summation is that it really depends on the game. Some games can hook me for 1,900 hours, and I would gladly spend $200, $300 on. Some games have worn out their welcome after 4 hours. Now, what I think is the difference there is quality, hook, environment, escapism, whatever you want to call it, the stuff. If a game has the stuff, then I will gladly pay $60 for a 7-hour experience. All right. What people are getting upset about is the Order doesn't have the stuff, and they have the gall to charge us $60. Well, to me, it's like me buying a racing game. Now, no offense to you racing games fans, I hate racing games. I think they are the most boring games, second only to sports games. Sorry, I've just ticked off a lot of people, but I just don't find them that interesting. All right, that's well and fine if you like them, but I don't. All right, so if I paid $60 for a racing game, and I'm like, dude, this is boring. No, duh, it's going to be boring because I don't like it. I don't like QuickTime events. I don't like third-person cover shooting if it's done kind of poorly. And in my opinion, that game has solid mechanics, but it just feels like a Gears knockoff, but without active reloading and any interesting weapons, which is like a double whammy. All right, and then you say that there is like 2.5 hours total of that 7-hour experience that is cutscenes, and most of the time not even interesting cutscenes. And then you tell me on top of it that the game starts the most most interesting narrative threads right at the end, and then doesn't do anything with them, and sequel baits so hard by saying, yeah, by the way, guys, I know you like our game, but buy number 2 because we want you to, and if you really want to find out the rest of the good story that we saved till the end, yeah, that just doesn't do it for me. All right, so I know that game's not worth $60 going into this. All right, I didn't expect it to be. I expected it to be a tech demo. I expected it to be PlayStation's Rise, which I feel ashamed saying that because everyone else is saying that now, but I said it way back in the day. But I made no public regard to it. I didn't make it known because I knew to myself the PS4 was not able to live up to the hype that trailer showed way back in E3 when they announced the game. I wanted it to be awesome. Believe me, in my heart of hearts, I wanted the Order 1886 to be like the next Halo, alright? But it just wasn't. Because it just doesn't capture what makes a good game in my mind. Quick time events, forced walking, and half-baked, non-interesting shooting does not make a good game for me. There are games out there that do shooting galleries a lot better. There are games out there that do cutscenes a lot better. If I want those experiences, I will look to something like a Final Fantasy, or I would even play Heavy Rain again versus go and play Order 1886. I liked Heavy Rain. I thought it was very interesting, not as a video game, but as an experience. Although, if I pay $60 for it, meh, I got it for $12. So, hate me if you wish. I thought it was well worth $12. So, really, what I want to see is more publishers go the $40 Kirby Canvas Curse or Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker route, where if you know your game's going to be kind of shorter and offer a limited experience, not like your other content titles like Smash Bros, Super Mario 3D World, things like that of that nature, or Uncharted 4 whenever blah 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 Drake's coming back and doing stuff. The games like that deserve the $60 price tag in my mind. Games that offer kind of a tech demo, limited experience should come out at $40. I mean, sorry, it's just how it is. Or come out as an episodic content. So, say you buy the first episode of Order and you're like, whoa, this is dope, alright? And that's chapter 1, and there's like 8 chapters in the game. Then you have the option to spend maybe $5-10, maybe even 15 to 20 if you're really enterprising, to get the next chapter or chunk of the game. That's how I think interactive experiences need to be done. If you are listening, developers, Telltale has a wonderful model going with the episode system. I know episodic games have kind of gone away in mainstream ideas, but if you're going to release an experience like Order 1886, don't release it as a full package, but release it in like 3 episodes. That would keep your fan base a lot happier and make it so people felt like it was worth their money. You could still have the same content, but mash it up in $10 sections or $5 sections, or $20 and divide the game in 3. All right, one, that's going to keep your price usually at $60 because people are going to buy the games like that digitally, as opposed to, dang, I don't want to trade out 3 discs. I'm too lazy to do that. So people are going to buy digital first, and second, your games aren't going to take up that much, or they're not going to depreciate in value that much. All right. So say a $20 game goes on sale for $10. All right. That's still 50% off, but that's still a lot better than a $60 game going down sale down to 20 or 10, which a smart gamer today ignores current events and just waits it out. Again, sorry, this video has gone long enough, and I've been starting to kind of ramble on. That's going to be edited, not edited out, but I mean, as I make more videos, I'll police myself better. Or maybe you guys will like me when I go on 30-minute or long rants. Who knows? But anyways, this has been my first video. Thank you for watching. Sorry if I get the green screen stuff wrong. I'll be trying really hard. And again, if you like my stuff, you know, please watch some more. I'll have some more content up shortly. But again, this is my first video, and I've been dying to put out this response to this question. So please subscribe to LockedOnTarget, and if you want to watch more of this content, please head over to Alloy 7's channel and look at his stuff, because man, he has tips for YouTube, he has tips for game, he has great game reviews, he has great Let's Plays, and he really shares himself and his heart into his channel. I suggest you go check out that channel, and especially check out Gamer Life, and let's make this a movement that takes over YouTube, alright? Because this is just such an awesome experience, and thank you for watching. And that's a wrap, guys. This is Captain Chris talking, and until we meet again, stay on target.